President Biden makes surprise visit to Ukraine.
Here's a summary of the article.
President Joe Biden arrived in Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv on Monday in an early morning surprise visit to underscore American support for President Volodymyr Zelensky and his war efforts against Russia, Rolling Stone has learned. Shrouded in secrecy, and coming days before the first anniversary of Russia's invasion, the trip marks the first time Biden has traveled to Ukraine as president. Multiple government agencies and officials in the U.S. and Ukraine did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's inquiries about Biden's trip. Despite claims from the White House for Biden having no plans to cross into Ukraine during his trip to Poland, plans to cross the Polish-Ukraine border began more than a month ago, after Biden told staffers he wanted a public display to show solidarity between the United States and embattled Ukraine as it enters its second year of war. Biden was presented with an array of plans for this Ukraine trip, says the senior White House official with direct knowledge of the matter. Ultimately, Biden selected Kyiv, a city that stands as a symbolic gesture of Ukraine's resolve after Russian forces tried and failed to capture the capital city early in the war last year. When asked how Russia would perceive Biden's presence in Poland, Hodges says, "If the president uses the trip just to say, 'We're with Ukraine for as long as it takes,' it will have been a wasted opportunity and the Russians will then know that we do not have the required sense of urgency or clarity of purpose to help Ukraine win this year. That would be a disappointment. I hope he'll use it to lay out very clearly America's strategic objectives for Ukraine."
This post received a score of 86,000, with an upvote ratio of 78%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I don't know why, but it's pretty funny that Rolling Stone is breaking this.
Why? They've pretty much always had a pretty good team of journalists.
Their 400 best songs of all time list didn't include the DuckTales song.
Damn. All of Polish media was talking nearly 24/7 about his visit to Poland tomorrow, and the guy suddenly shows up in Ukraine.
This was the perfect day to do it. It may have been suspected later in the Europe trip, but coming early was definitely a surprise.
I really don't think going later in the Europe trip would have ever been a possibility they properly considered. Putin is obsessed by dates, anniversaries etc., and the one-year anniversary of the invasion is on Friday. I sincerely hope I'm wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to see things get worse in Kyiv in the next week or so as a result, and Biden's team will be aware of this. Instead of making later arrangements and having to change these last minute, get it out of the way first, and if it does get postponed, nobody will be any the wiser.
On the other hand, if you want to make a deterrent against Putin trying anything, put the US president in Kyiv by surprise before Putin can whine about it, and dare him to have a go. Putin's struggling to handle NATO hand-me-downs handed to Ukraine. He's in no position to start a war with NATO proper by risking blowing up a US president. Also a gesture of solidarity that will not go unnoticed in Europe and in Ukraine in particular. Biden's definitely taking a risk doing this, but the payoff diplomatically could be significant.
Can you imagine the carnage if Russia were to do that though? Putin would fight 3 wars, an internal one where half the population would come for his head. BC of how idiotic that would be, his cabinet members and the rich coming for him, oh and of course the might of NATO coming to shred the entire Gulf and country apart. Kamala would come down hard off too to set a precedent as a woman president. Biden is pulling a Leonidas in 300 move when he gets first summoned by Xerxes and everyone is like, you know it's a trap, right? And he's just like, pray there, that's stupid. Then all of Greece would go to war.
We shall fight in our shades. Points to aviators.
That's it, everyone go home. The internet is over for today. This dude has won it.
As a response, Putin visited another side of his table.
Damn, these are some drastic measures. Let's hope he doesn't catch a cold from this long trip.
Probably took him a week to get there. With how long that table is and how short his legs are. Probably broke a high heel on the way.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.